sometimes getting a good night's sleep can seem like mission impossible. So we sent expert Alanna McGinn to help one mom in search of some desperately needed sleep. Watch this.
Hi, I'm Barb. I'm 38 years old. I'm married with 4 children, a 15-year-old, 9-year-old, and a set of 6-year-old twins. I've had trouble sleeping for the better part of 2-3 years now. A typical night for me is getting the kids to sleep for 8:30, no later, and then I like to go in my room and just read to wind down, fall asleep typically between 9:30 and 10, and around 1:30 every night I seem to just hit a wall and wake up. After I wake up, I wander around, I check on the kids, I make sure everything is still locked, then I end up back in bed and I just have a hard time falling back to sleep. My mind races, I think about what the upcoming day is bringing, I then fall back to sleep typically around 3:30 in the morning. The lack of sleep is affecting my life. There's no amount of caffeine that can kickstart my morning. I feel like I could be napping all day. The thing I worry most about is how the progression of lack of sleep could be affecting my health, could be affecting my moods, and I don't want that to relate down to my family.
My job as a sleep expert is to teach individuals better sleep habits. Hey Barb, I'm Alanna.
Hi, I'm so happy to see you.
I'm going to be working with Barb and giving her room a sleep audit, and that's going to encourage better quality and quantity of sleep for her each night.
Welcome to my room, Alanna.
Okay, so I see what is going on here, Barb, and I know exactly what we need to do to get you sleeping better. The first thing we want to focus on is creating that perfect sleep environment. Really, your bed should only be for sleep. Sleep and sex, right? But we're only talking about sleep right now. So let's clear away some of the clutter, things like laundry, maybe some bills that you have to pay, your kids' toys, clearing out the clutter. That's going to actually help you clear out your mind. And I know a big issue for you is falling back asleep, right? And your mind starts racing and it starts going. So this is going to help quiet your mind in the middle of the night and help you fall asleep a lot easier. So here I have some different activities that you can actually do at night. If you do wake up in the middle of the night, I'm giving you permission to get out of bed. You can do things like, maybe doing a puzzle, doing some adult coloring. Do it for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then you can get back into bed and try to fall asleep again, okay? I see that you have some aromatherapy essential oils, which is perfect because I brought you a diffuser. This is going to help calm your mind, calm your body. It's going to help you fall asleep a lot easier at night.
I'm looking forward to trying it out.
But I'm seeing another problem, Barb, and it's a big one. Tech on your night table. We got to get rid of tech. Tech is probably one of the biggest sleep busters out there. So hand me over that iPad. Thank you. The one thing that you can add to your night table that is going to help is a white noise machine or a sound spa. This is actually any kind of noise that you want to pick. It could be a nature sound. It could be that white noise, whatever works, lulling you into that next sleep cycle. That's going to help consolidate your sleep throughout the night and help you sleep in those longer stretches.
The white noise machine, I think that could help.
And here's my final tip for your night table, okay? I want you to take your alarm clock and actually turn it around so that when you're lying in bed, you're not clock watching when you wake up in the middle of the night. All right, so we've set up your room to help you sleep better, but there is something else that we can do to help you sleep better, and it's actually in your kitchen. So lead the way. Let's go. If the puzzles don't work and the coloring books don't work and you still find that you're waking up frequently throughout the night, there's certain bedtime snacks that you can eat that's going to help stabilize your blood sugar. So incorporating a bedtime snack that might include some protein and some fiber is going to help do that.
Truthfully, I've never really thought about getting up at night to have a snack to help put myself back to sleep. I thought that would be counterproductive.
How's that sound?
Sounds great.
You feel good about today?
I do.
Awesome. So I think Barb was really open with a lot of the things we talked about today, and I think if she applies it, she's going to do great.
I'm looking forward to going to bed tonight and trying out some of the things Alanna suggested.
Please welcome Alanna McGinn. She's right here. Nice to see you. Barb, how was your sleep last night?
Much better.
Yeah.
I've been able to utilize some of Alanna's tips, and I find that I'm not waking up as regularly.
Yeah, so what's the thing that you learned the most from this experiment?
Turning off my brain.
Yeah, that's hard to do sometimes.
It's definitely difficult.
Yeah. And how do you do that? How do you find that you're doing that now? What do you say to yourself?
Honestly, I just say anything that needs to be done will be there in the morning.
Yep.
And I do use an essential oil on my pillow.
Good for you. I always say you'll make better decisions tomorrow, so why don't you just put it off till
That's
tomorrow
right.
morning? Because you're going to lose it, Miss Dennis, if you keep thinking about those things. On average, how long does it take Alanna to make that transition? How many?
It could take like 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's like any habit that we're changing, right? So it's really important to know, the tips we talked about at Barb's house, the tips we're going to talk about today, these aren't overnight solutions. You got to put that plan together and really give it a go.
Okay, so instill healthy habits. Here we go with the first one. Instill healthy habits that you can do with your kids. That's important because we're not just talking about you singularly, right?
No, and we want to start at bedtime because listen, if our kids aren't going to bed, we're not going to bed, right? So start at bedtime and think outside the box a little bit. Maybe start a book club with the older kids who can read. There's a lot of great children's books that parents want to read as well, right? So you can start a book club with them, opens up, gives that connection to at bedtime, talk about the books, your likes, your dislikes, even some mindful things to our kids get stressed out too, and that's going to keep them up at night. It's going to reduce some of that stress, some of those anxieties. So things like bedtime yoga, mindful breathing, mindful thinking, and these are things they can.
Bedtime yoga.
Bedtime yoga. There's a lot of great poses. There's a lot of great poses that you can do.
Okay.
And you can incorporate this during the day too, right? For both adult and child.
But I love reading. Like I read to my son a lot, and then when he would know that I was tired because I go, Adam, you finish the sentence, or you finish the last 2 words. And you know what? It was great because you're exhausted, they're exhausted, and they kind of get into this, and they get to pick their favorite book.
That's right.
That's right. I like what you say about the older kids that say, "Okay, we're going to go back to this chapter. We're going to do maybe a half or 2 pages tonight. Yeah. What did we get from that? Okay, tomorrow night we'll continue on.
That's right.
If you have a routine, and that's what I want to talk about next.
Right.
Establishing a routine.
Yeah.
It's good for adults. It's good for kids, and everybody's on the same page.
Absolutely. And you know what? For moms especially, and moms just like Barb, we need that hour to 2 before we go to bed.
And
dads too, to have that downtime, right? Just where we can just do whatever we want. And if our kids' bedtimes are getting later and later because we're helping them so much to go to bed, we're not getting that time, right? So it's important to kind of set those limits at bedtime. And you can do that with something as simple as an alarm clock, right? So for the older kids who can tell time, you can use an alarm clock. So this way they see, okay, this is when bedtime starts. This is when lights out and we're actually going to bed. Give yourself about 30 minutes to have that nice, calming and relaxing bedtime routine with your child. For the younger kids, you can use something like a toddler alarm clock, and this is going to help. It's just visual cues, right?
That
so that they know.
So cute, that clock. I love that. Okay.
And it helps them. It wakes up in the morning too, so they know what time they can come out of their room. Things, again, going back to the stress and anxiety that might be keeping up your kids. Journaling, it works great for adults. It can work great for kids too.
Journaling. I saw your notes on that. I'm a little hesitant on that one. That'd be the last thing I would do. That would be, and I'll tell you why. I've had enough during the day.
Right.
And I'm sorry. I have no time for that. Maybe we'll get to that. What I do like is your nighttime hall pass.
That's right. So the nighttime hall.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So this is for those kids that are waking up in the middle of the night. They're calling out to you. They're coming out of their rooms. When you give them that nighttime hall pass, this gives them permission where one time during the week they can do that. They can come out of the room or they can call out to you, right?
Yeah.
So they know they can hand it in. But when they hand it in, they can't use it again that week.
Whoa.
I know.
That is, now you're cooking, Alanna. Now you're cooking. Like, I think it's because, I used to leave little notes from my mother on the stairs. I used to go down and go, I feel really sick. Please see me. I need to go to the hospital. Please come and see me. She saved all those notes. Yeah. But the hall pass, if you start the hall pass, maybe 1 per night, depending on it, and then per week.
You can do per week. And what it does is when they know that they've handed it in, now they have to put themselves to sleep. So it's also showing them that they're capable of doing it. So those wakings are going to get less and less.
I like that idea a lot. And what's the other thing you want to tell us about all this?
And this is a family sleep meeting, right? Come together as a family, talk about the sleep rules, the expectations, and then you can even go as far as putting together like this fun informal contract.
I was thinking about you the other day because you know that the clocks are changing soon,
yes, that's a big one.
That it's going to get darker sooner, that sort of thing. But when it comes to, let's say we started school already, obviously, that you have to kind of sit there and go, okay, guys, this is summer was summer,
right?
But this is now the new thing. Yeah, and the other thing too is who's got hockey tonight, who's got ballet, who's got soccer.
Yeah.
So that everything has to shift.
Everything has to shift.
That's that meeting.
And that's where you can come together and just so that they also understand the expectations, and then you can put clauses in for them, clauses in for you. You know, I'll check on you when I go to bed. Yeah. You know, when the lights come out, I won't come out of my room, and then always end it with like a fun activity.
That's good. I like that. Okay, now technology.
Yes,
we're bad at all of this.
That's
Aren't we?
right.
Yeah.
Okay. And as a family, we have to remove tech for sure and get the whole family involved and just create a space in your home where you can dock it. So this is actually my own that we use at my house. That's why it's a little banged up, but this is ours. And, you know, I just bought it.
Put it?
we put it in the kitchen
Yeah.
counter, so everyone plugs in overnight. We drilled in some. Well, my father-in-law
Or
drilled in the
unplugs.
holes.
Unplugs.
That's right, unplugs.
Yeah.
Plugs it in, keeps it organized, and it stays out of our bedroom. So and just you can be creative.
I have a little thing on my iPhone that says it's time for bed at 7:45 p.m. It's a little ding, 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 time for bed. And I go, okay.
That's right.
So that tells me because
Set your alarm to go to bed.
set your alarm to go to bed. Okay, we
Absolutely.
want to talk quickly about sleep apnea, and
Right.
we want you to go talk to your doctor about it for sure. It really can weigh on your health, your mental capacity to handle things. What should we know other than what I just said about sleep apnea?
So common signs of sleep apnea would be waking up tired. So
Yes.
maybe
all the time.
you think you're sleeping well, you're doing everything right, but you're still waking up really groggy and foggy. Excessive daytime sleepiness, where you could be literally falling asleep in the middle of the
Could
day.
be signs of something else too.
It
right?
could be, absolutely.
Yeah.
Frequent snoring, mouth breathing, and talk to the person sleeping beside you,
Yeah.
right? Because you might not even realize that you're doing it.
Uh-huh.
And I always say sleep apnea does not discriminate.
Right.
It's not overweight men. It's
No.
not. It could be women. It could be children.
Yeah.
So know the signs and symptoms and have that discussion with your doctor, and then they would, if they feel necessary, refer you to have a sleep study done.
That sleep study done, or they could find that there's something that there's a health issue
Absolutely.
that you have.
Yeah.
And how are you sleeping these days?
I'm sleeping okay.
Yeah,
I'm
because you're
sleeping
the
okay.
expert. You should say, "Oh yeah,
I have my
I slept
down days
really
too,
well." Did
but
you?
I do. Yeah, I mean, I'm human, right? I'm a woman. Hormonal stuff happens. We all go
You're a
through
good
it.
sport, Alanna. Barb, we hope you have a great sleep tonight. Thank you so much
Thank
for doing
you.
that with us. Okay, thank you to Alanna. Awesome job. Awesome job.